Hello there, it's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee. So today I am just finishing off the quilt, but I did want to go through it with you. So what I have here is some poly cotton, and it's got Scotty dogs, tiny ones, printed on it. And then over the top I've sewn some cut-out Scotty dogs on the tartan, and in the middle I have a painting of a Scotty dog. So very, very simple. And the easiest way for me, I know, and this is personal taste, and I am going to be doing in the next couple of days, you know, finishing quilts, but obviously for the first one I'm going to do it the easiest way for me. So what I have here is my poly cotton that's painted, the quilt. I've got the backing, and then I've got the wadding, and I've got it safety pinned all around. I've got my machine set up without a foot. Oh, that's very clever, isn't it? Okay. Alright, I'm going to use the zipper foot for no reason other than... no reason at all. Alright, now I always find having the wadding on top is the best. Okay, the reason behind this is that if the wadding gets caught in the foot, then the worst case scenario, I might have to throw the foot away. If it gets caught in the machine, then obviously it gives me loads more problems. So even though I'm only accidentally using a zipper foot, because it's only got one sticky out bit, then it's not going to cause me any problems. So all I'm doing is sewing around the outside of this. Now I'm trying to keep it as neat as possible, and I'm trying to make sure that my wadding and my quilt and my backing don't bunch up. Idea to use quite a large table, just so that you can lay out the weight of the quilt. What I mean by that is that, best intention in the world, this quilt's going to weigh something by the time that I've added the backing and the wadding, so we don't want it to sort of stretch and pucker. Just coming up to the bottom, and obviously I've managed to push it round slightly. So best intentions in the world, even though I thought I cut the wadding to size, I'm going to have to lose some of that wadding. Now coming along the bottom, I can just see the lining peeking through the quilt. So now I suppose you could do this in stages. You could add the quilt to the backing, and then the wadding to, you know. So I'm coming along the bottom in my own time. And then I just have to come up the sides. Now probably the most important thing for me to remember in doing this is to leave a hole to turn it inside out. Now, yeah, I'm sure that's not something that anyone else has trouble with, it's just me, but I damage the quilt if I did unpick it. You know, that's all there is to it. Even though relatively simple quilt. Making sure that I'm not picking up anything from underneath. That also happens. Okay, so I'm just coming along the bottom now. And you can see again that even though it was cut square, I've managed to stretch the wadding slightly. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I have to do the top. I'm going to sew in a couple of tags as well. I'm just thinking, have I got any cloth in here that I can use? And not really. Yes. Okay, so next time I switch it on, we'll have the tags sewn in the top. I'll have sewn up the side, but I'll have left a hole, and then we can start with the actual quilting proper. Okie dokie. Hi, so welcome back. I have lots. Yes. What I'm doing now is I am just going around the outside of the quilt. I always like to do this. Yeah, and it just means that I can tuck this in as part of it. Now, I always like to sew loops on as well. This is so that it could be hung, or, you know, I don't think it gets in the way. So I am literally just going to sew that on. I know, not ideally, because normally I sort of sew them into the quilt, but I don't know, today I forgot. Yep, I know, it's not perfect. Now this fabric that I've painted on, it came from Walthamstow Market, a market in London, and I think they specialise in shops that have gone bankrupt. It was £1.50, I got 1 metre, and from then on that dictated the size of this quilt. So okay, so I've done that. I'm leaving the needle down, I'm readjusting everything. Now I find the thing about this is it's just best to shake it into position, because you don't want it too bulky in places and pulling in other places. So all I'm doing now is I'm folding in this hem, this seam, so that because I've gone all the way around, it doesn't look any different than the rest of it. Actually being a bit difficult to do that. Now the easiest way I found to do these seams is finger and push in. So I've kind of got a flat triangle thing going, and then I can just pull it taut. Yeah, so it's quite long, but all I need to do is I need to get this bit in the sewing machine, and then these ones I can sort of do while I'm sewing. So let's get it started. I'm not sewing. Do you know, I'm not having the best of days actually. I think it's because I'm rushing, so because I know I don't have a video for today, so which is fine. I quite often do the sewing in the morning and then yeah, if you ever do get stuck sewing, I do recommend that you have something that you can sew. You know, I know one lady that sews those birds that hang down that you buy, I think in Tunisia, and yeah, you know, before she starts, she has a little warm up and she sews a bird, and it works for her. So, you know, I think it's something that we all go through, because most of it is knowledge based, isn't it, sewing? But some of it is artistic, and you do need to sort of get in the zone. Okay, so I've threaded my machine now, and I am literally every 6 inches, 7 inches, I'm just picking it up. And I'm just picking it up again. Making sure that I'm not picking up anything that's tucked under. And now what I'm doing is I'm just holding it taut so that we can finish up at the same point that we started on the last one. Okay, so now what I'm ended up with is my quilt topper, my lining held in place by my seams, and then my backing also held in place. So I've got quite a good position to start with. Some of the problems that you might find is that literally, you know, all your wadding's fallen down and it's all difficult. Now, I must admit, I am terribly tempted just to put on a music background and fast forward this, because all I'm going to do now is I'm going to straight line, and when I get to the bottom I'm going to sew this gap along the bottom, along the seam that I've already sewn, and then I'm going to go up again. But I find if you do this, then any puckering that you cause will then be cancelled out. So I just find that this is my easy way. This is my easiest quilt, as it were, attachment. So yeah, and the thing about artist's quilt as well is you've got to enjoy it really. And yeah, if you think you're making a picture, something draws your attention, and it really should be at the top left hand corner, because most people are right-eyed, and then it should sort of swoosh round so your eye is drawn round. Now, not necessarily with something painted in the middle. I was, when I was sewing this, obviously, everything's Scotty dog, except for that love part there. And I didn't have enough purple fabric to do another Scotty dog. And yeah, I didn't even know where I could get this purple tartan from. So in the end I resorted to making a patchwork big enough that I could cut a heart. So yes, I am just stopping now. I am going to go to, that span. And I've marked it with my fingers. I'm following the same line of stitches as I did round the outside. And then I'm going to turn the whole quilt. I've got my needle down and my foot up. And I'm going to roll it up out the way. Yeah, you see, this is the nice thing about not having my light bulb. And I'm going to use this as a guide. So I'm going to ignore this side, and it's only sort of programming and training that we hem to this line. But, you know, there's no reason why I can't hem to that line. It's just habit. So what I'm doing now is I can see that this is puckering slightly. So I'm going to smooth it out from that line and then work through. And it's just, I'm flattening it. Now, this is a basic machine, and I know I keep saying that. So, yeah, it can be done on a basic machine. Now, when I go over the actual painted part, it's going to be fine, but it is a different texture. You do have to watch that your top can still grip it. I'm using the sewing machine. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's kind of piercing the paint. So, lovely, lovely job. Alright, I've gone a bit skewed, which is fine. There we go. Okay, so I'm coming up to my line of stitches again. I'm going to leave my needle down, turn my quilt. Yeah, quilting's a summer job, honestly, because most of the time you've got it all on your knee, and yeah, it does get a bit warm and it's quite physical. So I'm just sewing along that line of stitches again. And then when I'm up to that line again, I'm going to turn my quilt again, and then I'm going to sew down. Now, this side needs to be tucked out of the way. I always roll it, I don't know why. And if I was doing my lines closer together, obviously it would roll a lot flatter. So, now, you could, I suppose, quite easily safety pin the line down so that you don't go all wonky. You know. But yeah, just remember, try and get it as flat as you can. Now you can see why I do it on the dining room table with the telly on. Hello there. So yes, I'm just changing my bobbin. I can't believe that. We are 10 inches from the end. 10 inches. I know, how appalling. How cruel the world is. Anyway, all is good. Or at least I hope it is. Poor beans. Okay. Okay, hi. I know, I'm going to have to jump on the bed to do this, sorry. It's such a small room, but yeah, such is life. Okay, so there we are. I know, that's my simplest way. I know. There are going to be other videos, you know, they're going to be filtered through, and that's probably a bit more tricky. Well, tricky for me because it is very personal. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again. Ooh, I'm stiff from sitting still, it's terrible.